Okay, yeah, like I said, to start off with this house that we show here, I don't know what the address was, but it was on Magnolia Street. I didn't even know what the street was back then. Anyway, that house, my dad bought that house and pulled it around here and put it on that lot. He got the house from someplace else and put it there, put a foundation and made it there and added a couple additions.
Anyway, as you can see in the picture on page 1, there's a house on Magnolia Street that there seems to be a large stack of snow in front of the house. It was probably plowed up when they plowed the streets in Pinedale. Anyway, I can remember of us kids when we found that great big pile of snow, deciding that we wanted to have an igloo. So we took our shovels and we dug into the side of it until we got way inside. And I made an igloo out of that pile of snow. I can still see in my mind either Tom or Sid or Mary, one of us, the younger kids, way back in the hole that we dug in there, in the igloo that we made out of the pile of snow. I don't ever remember what happened to the igloo or what happened to the pile of snow. But anyway, that was the story about the pile of snow.
This barn wasn't here. Our garage was just a single car garage further back. This house right here was my uncle's house, and that one you can see with the chimney was my other uncle's house. This is Uncle Louie, and that was Uncle Bob back there. That house has another addition on the far left that wasn't there at the time, but it looks just exactly like that. I always had some kind of a project. Here's a picture of an airplane we built. My dad always had a bunch of lumber hanging around, and we had wheels and stuff like that. And here's a picture of a soapbox derby where you ride down the hill. And at the actually bottom of page 1 is our branch. And there's about 18 people in there, and we all met in our front room for the first probably a year before they had enough room to make a chapel. Also, on page 2 is a picture where my sister was born, and that was right over in the middle of this Camp of the Pines. I think that's called something else now. It used to be called Camp of the Pines. But the house is right there, and we used to go in that house, and the floor was all rotted out. It was abandoned, and we used to hide and seek and play in that house. And also,
so that's where Betty was born?
That's where my sister Betty was born. This is my aunt and my mom and my aunt's son, but that's the only picture I have of the house. But there was a fence along there. Who knows what gooseberries are?
I do.
Gooseberries are little teeny berries about the size of your fingernail. They're green and they're really sweet and nice, and they're the wild gooseberries, and we used to pick the wild gooseberries and eat them. Anyway, that was just to show you where it is. This airplane we built, that picture was taken right out of our front yard looking into that empty yard.
Why was Betty born in the abandoned house?
Well, it wasn't abandoned when she was born there.
Oh, okay.
I think my mom and dad lived there in the early. She was born in 1936, and then they bought a property, and we're going to go there up closer to the big hill. That's called the big hill up there. You can see up the street. And like I told everybody in our car, that street right down there was the end of Pinedale going east. All that stuff was the farmer's field. Cattle would grazing in there, and they used to have football games over there. Okay, well, that's page 1 and page 2.